Hi friends, Simit here from InformedTrades.com. Today is February 18th, 2014. Time for our daily Forex chart review. Basically, this this is a morning session I conduct. It's supposed to be at 8:15 a.m. Sometimes starting a little late. I had some technical issues today. I apologize for that. But 8:15 a.m. New York time, which is I believe that's 1:15 p.m. GMT. Basically, I share the charts I'm looking at, the trades I'm placing, sort of my analysis of the Forex market as I see it. Definitely just a learning process. If you have any questions, you can always ask us on InformedTrades.com. Any material I'm reviewing that's not clear, we have a whole bunch of learning material on Informed Trades. Check it out, join our community, participate, and we can go from there. Okay, so let's get started with the Forex charts. Okay. First chart we're looking at here is New Zealand dollar, US dollar. So I have two trades on at the moment, and I always like to start by looking at the trades I have on at the moment. First one is Kiwi Dollar. And let's go to, okay, so you can see basically what I'm trading here is this range in that this box here. So we got up here and I shorted it here. It got filled. So this is nice. This is a comfortable trade in that it had very minimal time spent floating loss. So my stop is here at this red line, but it hasn't spent much time in the losing area. So we'll see. Definitely I'm not taking any action yet. If it can close below this dash gray line here, this first dash one, let me delete the second one. So if it can close below here, I'll move my stop to break even, meaning I'll move this red line down to here. Okay, so far so good on Kiwi Dollar, but we still have a long way to go. Euro Pound is the other position I have on at the moment. Okay, and now this looks like we are, okay, oh, we're at the top of the trend line here. So this could be an interesting time to pyramid. Okay, so we came very close to hitting my initial profit target, but did not. And now we're at the top of this channel. And now if we break out above this channel, I'll close. But let's see what the price action looks like. Okay, it's not looking too good, the price action here. Now if, Okay, this might be the kind of thing that I'll take a look at later in the day as well. Because chances are, if it just price action keeps looking really strong, chances are I'll close it out. So we'll come back to this maybe by the end of this video. It'll be a little clearer. Definitely, Euro Pound is not, there's that issue of I'm trying to find a way to whether I should add to the position, but I don't want to add. We're at the top of the channel, so it'll be an interesting time or a good time to add potentially. However, I would like to see reversal candlesticks. If we don't see reversal candlesticks, I might as well close out my existing position, at least partially or in whole. So let's see how the candlesticks shape up later. Hopefully, maybe we'll get an idea at the end of this video, but most likely it'll take later. I'll evaluate later in the day. Those are the only two trades I have on at the moment. I have a bunch of entry orders, but let's go through our normal chart review. Euro Australian dollar. Okay, and I think no, I have a okay. So I don't have an order here, but what this pair is virtually identical to is Aussie Swiss, and I have an order on that. Okay, and you can see, we're range bound here. We had a similar type of range, just inverted on Euro Australian dollar. So I'm basically looking to short from here. That's my where my entry order is sitting. Let's see if price goes there. I'm still comfortable with this trade and this analysis. If the order gets filled, I would like that. If it doesn't, and that's that. Euro Canada. Okay, same deal here. Price has we're going to see this with a lot of Canadian dollar pairs, where price has been in this channel and it's broke out of this channel, pulled back, and now it's using this channel as support. So that's an interesting trading opportunity. Like I've mentioned, every day I sort of say this about Canada, but I like horizontal lines more than diagonal lines. If price can fall to 48.33, right around there, I might be interested in buying. But at its current level, I just don't trust the diagonal lines enough. Those who have, though, it's working out well for them. Okay. Euro pound we looked at. Euro yen. Okay, Euro yen. I have that entry order on. I have this black line where my target profit's the red line. This is I'm mainly looking on the weekly chart, so we still have a ways to go. It does look increasingly like this is the low. But what we'll really test if this is the low is if we pull back and then there's another low that's confirmed. So we pull back to here, this black line, and the bulls defend that, then you'll really know the blow is in. So I've got my entry order there. Now it's just a matter of waiting. Euro Kiwi. Okay. Yeah, this is still, I don't really trust this pair too much. We seem to have some type of I got a lot of lines going on here. Let me delete at least this red one. Okay. But let me also add this trend line. Okay, so you can see that price is basically consolidating. If you look at this blue line and this, we have some might call it pennant formation. Let's actually see what this looks like on the weekly chart. Okay, so which way is this going to break out, up or bottom? I don't know. When it does break out, that might be the interesting trade opportunity. So I'll sort of wait for that. At least at the moment, this chart looks a little bearish to me. We are above the 50 simple moving average on the weekly chart, so we're above this blue line here. Too many blue lines. Let me change the color of the box, actually. I'll make this make it this color. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So price is above. Let me actually zoom in a little bit. You can see that price is above the blue line here, above this simple moving average, or right at it actually. Okay, price is a little above that moving average. It'll be clear if we extend this. There we go. So you can see that price is right above this blue line here, the 50 simple moving average. However, it's well below the 200 exponential. I would interpret this as bearish, but you can make an argument that's unclear, and I definitely see that argument because we have a pattern of, we have a new high here, this high relative to this swing high, and also we have this swing low higher than this swing low. So some may argue that the trend is in the process of reversing and we're about to head much higher. If that's the case, then let's see if we can break out of this box here and break above this diagonal line here. But in any event, I would like to wait and see much more on Euro Kiwi. I think it's an interesting chart, from a technical analysis perspective, thinking about what the implications of the pattern means. But in terms of actually trading, I will pass on that. Okay, so that's Euro Kiwi. Euro US dollar. This is really on a roll here. Now clearly above this resistance level. And something we talked about on InformedTrades a couple days ago is the price target of Euro dollar. On a monthly chart, we'll do this real quick. If you zoom out to a monthly chart, I showed this in yesterday's video. If you look at the A, B, C, D pattern, the D goes, A to B, C to D. If you're not familiar with that, we have a video on that as well. But if you project basically the distance from A to B, this is like 8,000 pips, is supposed to be equal to the distance from C to D. So you can project, if this is the low, if this is the retracement in an A to B movement, you could say, all right, let's add 8,000 pips from here. You're going to get something like, 190, over 190, 194. That's one way of looking at it. So long as this low isn't breached, I think that analysis has some merit, but we'll see. In any event, in the near term, this is not, we need more of a pullback. Right now we haven't had any. I don't think I'd trade the breakout of this, so if we pull back to this black line, I don't think I would be interested in that. But we'll see. At this point, very clear uptrend. This was clearly the buying opportunity, and we discussed this before. However, I like to set up on the pound more, so I went with that. Speaking of the pound Australian dollar. Okay. So this is now reversing. Clearly in an uptrend, I like to buy if it can follow this black line. It's similar in a way to Euro Aussie. And I have my entry order on Aussie Swiss. So we're seeing the same sort of price action on Euro Aussie, Pound Aussie, and Aussie Swiss. When all these pairs are correlated, I'd rather than put on 3 orders and triple my risk exposure, I'd rather just focus on one of the opportunities, whichever technical setup that seems just most comfortable with. Aussie Swiss was that for me. I've got the entry order. Let's see. The basic idea is if price falls to this black line here, that'll be a good sign for my entry order getting filled. Pound Canada. Same idea. We saw this before. Price pulled back the channel. This is the one I should have entered on, really. Hindsight's always 20/20, but this is a near the 50% Fibonacci, reversal candlesticks, and at a horizontal support. But I missed this opportunity, unfortunately. Pound yen. I think that was, this type of opportunity, just a bit of a psychological error, I'd say. It really met the requirements I'm looking for. Pound yen, and that's one of the things about a manual system. My approach here is there are some traders who are way more automated, and there's probably a way, because my approach is purely technical, there's probably a way to to automate this. I just haven't found a software system whose support and resistance levels I trust enough to fully automate this. So, and it's just, I think there's a lot of factors that need to be considered, and I just think I feel more comfortable with my analysis doing it manually and going through these charts. Price action, scanning, there are some tools, and we talked about this on InformedTrades a bit, but it's not, I don't know, I haven't found any that I think are really good. There's some that are really good at one component. For instance, some that are really good at candlestick scanning. I haven't found the ones that can factor in, some others that are good at identifying triangle patterns or swing lows and swing highs. I haven't seen one that analyzes all the components the way I would like it and does it, correctly, synthesizes it all. But I'm sure it exists somewhere out there. Probably some hedge fund or something like that has it. Okay, pound yen, same idea as euro yen and dollar yen, in that just waiting for the pullback here. I do think this is the low on the yen pairs, and that we could be headed for a much, much higher move. However, I don't want to chase, so let's see what happens if we get that pullback. Pound Kiwi. Okay. Pound Kiwi here. Yeah, still in this range here. Like I mentioned, well, this would have been a buying opportunity, but I don't really trust it as much, and that's fine. I'd rather, if we can get the intersection, I need more confluence, basically. So we had a range here. We had some type of support level. I didn't find the support level to be meaningful enough. But, maybe it was. In hindsight, maybe it was. There's also, the other issue was stop loss placement. And I mentioned that before. So this entry signal was good. You had a lot of reasons to enter. It's just where you're going to put the stop and where you're going to put the target profit. And that has to really make up. The profit's got to be far enough away relative to where your stop is that it makes it a worthwhile trade. Pound dollar. Okay, so we are seeing the pound start to rally, and this is the kind of pattern that gives me confidence in shorting or closing out my my short euro pound trade, because we are seeing the pound reverse a bit. So I think I may close that out entirely. Okay. Now let's go to the US dollar. And that's where, correlations they really help me in a lot of ways to put things together. I've mentioned this before, and you'll see in my videos, I'm always looking to see what other currencies are doing. So if I'm trading dollar Canada, I might want to look at what pound Canada is doing, euro Canada is doing. And if I'm seeing something similar, or conversely, if I'm trading dollar Canada, what's the dollar doing against Australian dollar, US, no, euro, or whatever. So if you see some type of correlation, that can be meaningful. Not always. You don't always need to see that, but sometimes it can be meaningful. Okay, dollar Canada still waiting. Oh, looks like we're slowing down here. I really wanted to fall to 109.04 because I think there could be a really nice entry opportunity here. This is such a great uptrend. I just need a sufficient pullback to enter, and it might be here. We'll see. Looks like the retracement's stalling a bit, so we might not get the full retracement I'd like. We'll see though. Still waiting on dollar Canada. Dollar yen. Okay. Here, same idea. With all these yen pairs, waiting for the pullback here to this black line. My target is way off. We just covered this in yesterday's video. Basically trading this from a weekly chart perspective. So this is going to be a great 9-to-1 reward risk if I can get filled. So we'll see. In a small position size because I'm trading such a larger range, which I don't generally like to do, but with the yen, I think it's I like the idea. I feel comfortable with it. Okay, dollar Singapore. And the reason I'm comfortable with it on the yen is we've talked about the fundamentals on the yen. InformedTrades.com/Japan. Dollar Singapore, yeah. Okay, so to me, the dominant pattern here is this this wedge or this triangle, this funnel of sorts, whatever term you'd like to use for it. So if we can fall to the bottom or top, I'd be interested. Other than that, the price action is a little choppy. It's always interesting to see. This is a support level I had identified previously, and we are seeing some reversal candlesticks. The market rallied, so that would have been an interesting buying opportunity. But when you see a pattern of lower highs, as you're seeing here, right? Here's the high, and then this high is lower, and a pattern of lower highs. Here's a low, and this swing low is higher than that. You're seeing a consolidation. I generally would prefer for that consolidation to end and the market to make a definitive move, whether it wants to go up or down, because I'm really looking for trends. Are my favorite. I have a range-bound trade on New Zealand dollar, US dollar, but even then, usually I prefer trends, unless it's a really clear range with a favorable reward risk. Canadian dollar, Canada Swiss. So this is going to be the same as Euro Canada, basically. Yeah, we had that down channel, broke out of it, now we're testing it. And if we pull back more, I could be interested in shorting. Until then, though, I will pass. So I'm passing on a lot of opportunities that other traders would take and would profit from, and that's, maybe in time I'll evolve my strategy. But at this point, risk minimization is the name of the game. The strategy I have now I'm comfortable with, and I think changing your trading strategy slowly is important. At least if you change it very frequently, it becomes difficult to track what you're doing to make sure that you're changing it for legitimate reasons rather than just an emotional bias. And that's definitely one of the challenges of trading. Maybe the biggest one, in my opinion. Canada yen. Okay, more signs that the yen has bottomed here, or that the yen pairs have bottomed, meaning the yen rally has climaxed. But nothing yet. Just waiting for the pullback, and I'm trading that on euro yen and dollar yen. As I've mentioned before, I don't like to trade more than 2 pairs with the same currency in the same direction. So if I'm going long Euro Yen, I can go long Dollar Yen, but I don't want to do that with CAD Yen, Aussie Yen, and do it with every yen pair. Diversification is key. I think it was Ray Dalio who called it, the only, money for nothing in trading, and I tend to agree with that. Okay, so that's the Canadian dollar pairs. Now we are going to the Australian dollar. Okay, yeah, we are in this. The yellow channel is sort of what's on my mind here. Some may, feel comfortable buying here because we've broken out of this, and you could buy here. I appreciate that. Let me just make this a little lighter. There we go. I appreciate that, but I don't. In general, I'm still not there yet where I can feel comfortable doing that. Maybe if the candlesticks are really appropriate. I just like the swing trading style more. That resonates with me, and that's fine. A lot of traders will like this type of breakdown. They'll be comfortable with it, and they'll have a great strategy, and it works for them. So the most important thing is to find what works for you. In these videos, I'm just illustrating. I think the major educational value of these videos is that you see what a trader is thinking about in the analysis that I'm going through. I'm not saying this is the only way to analyze it. I'm not even saying it's the best way. There are definitely traders who have higher returns and higher, risk-reward ratios, better gain-to-pain ratio. If you're not familiar with gain-to-pain, we have a video on that. Definitely want to check that out. Very good way of evaluating your success as a trader. But in any event, so you have to find what works for you and what you're confident in, because ultimately you have to execute it. That's something a lot of traders initially don't appreciate. They think it's all about finding the method. Really, it's the execution is the more challenging part, because you realize that the psychology is is the real issue. Aussie Swiss, okay. This is, I have a short order here, so just waiting. Let's see if it gets filled. Aussie Yen. Okay. Aussie Yen. Now this looks like it could be an interesting short opportunity, and I'm tempted to short it. However, I still think this could be the low on the yen. So yeah, I will stay away from. I'm more comfortable shorting the other Australian dollar pairs. So I see yen bearishness in other pairs, and I'm trading that. Maybe the Australian dollar is bearish too, but if so, I've got a bunch of bear trades. I'd rather trade on other currencies rather than the yen. This is an example where I would not want, I don't want to go with long yen in some pairs and short yen in other pairs if there's a way to avoid it. Sometimes it makes sense. I'm not saying never ever do that, but in this instance, I'm going long dollar yen, euro yen, and I can see an argument for shorting Aussie yen here, but it's clear to me to short Aussie Swiss, so I'll just do that rather than have conflicting yen positions. Aussie Kiwi. Okay. Yeah, still want to short at that black line. So with my short orders on the Aussie dollar, it's just a matter of waiting until they get filled, if they get filled. So we'll see. Sometimes a little frustrating having a bunch of entry orders pending, but to me it's worth it even if they don't get filled, and sometimes the market will go without you. Getting the price you want is really important, really advantageous. Aussie dollar, I have an entry order here as well. So chances are, I have a bunch of Australian dollar entry orders. If they all got filled, I'd probably want to close one out right away because I think that'd be too much. Like I mentioned, I don't want to have more than 2 orders on. Unless my stop is at break even on one of them, then I can add more. Kiwi Canada. Okay, we're worked out great as a counter trend trade, right? You see clear resistance here, a lot of reversal candlesticks, and price is now starting to turn down. I don't really like to trade counter trend. The one thing I will start doing is I'll trade counter trend on the daily if it's consistent with the trend on the weekly. However, on the weekly NZ Canada, Kiwi Canada, and let's take a look at that. You see it's still bullish, right? The trend is still going up here. It's going up on the daily. So this is an example of the trend is daily on the, or bullish on the daily but bearish on the weekly, in which case I would short on the daily. So I'll just pass this altogether, at least for now. Some counter trend traders will definitely see an opportunity here, and it looks like it's working. Kiwi Swiss. Oh, this is the same as Euro Kiwi. Yeah. So, excuse me. Yeah. Some may find this. To me, this looks a little too range bound, a little too choppy. Some of the crosses can definitely be like that. So I find it. I'll still trade crosses, and I definitely have and will continue to do so fairly regularly. But sometimes if the price action isn't clear enough, I'll stay away, and it can be very choppy. So that's definitely something I bear in mind. Same pattern on the yen. Definitely seeing this looks like a bottom. Could be, I mentioned that on all the yen pairs, but that's what I see every time I look at it. Kiwi Dollar. Oh yeah. So this is the one good thing for me at least. Shorted it here and it started going down. So this is a very very nice price action. Exactly what I would want to see. So that's about it. No orders placed today. I do think that we've seen enough signs that let's just clarify my thinking here. So Euro Pound. Okay, now I think I'm going to close this trade out, and the reason I'm doing that is because we're seeing the pound start to decline in value. Okay, when you see this chart, when you see Euro Pound go up, that means pound is losing in value. Now, if we look at Pound Aussie, okay, so one may argue that this is not going to pull back, or that the pound is going to. You see some signs of a reversal here. Let's zoom in a little bit. You see some signs of a reversal here. More telling for me is Pound Dollar. All right, so here we definitely see sharp run up, reversal, looks like it could come back down. And I don't see any particular pronounced weakness in the euro that would make me think that the euro is just so weak and continue falling against the pound. I've also been in this trade for a while, so there's a little bit of, once I've been in a trade for a while, I definitely want to see it continue to go and go and go in my favor. So I think I will close out my euro pound trade today. Didn't hit my profit target, but there's still a decent profit on it. So I'll close that out, and that'll be the only real trade activity I do for today. I've got a bunch of entry orders on. Let's see if any more of them get filled. That's about it. That concludes our video for today. If you have any questions, anything you want to add, join us at InformedTrades.com. Thanks and best of luck in your trading.